Hey there, guys. So today we have another review, and this is Maine Beer Company's A Tiny, Beautiful Something. Weird kind of title on that. This is a pale ale from them. But before we start, I want to talk about a few beers. I just bought a bunch of beer, Whole Foods. Look it up. I don't know if what's happening locally, but for me in New York, they were doing 20% off of all Whole Foods beers. So I decided to buy a bunch of beers. I actually have more beers behind this. But yeah, so let me know which one of these you'd like to see me review. We have Molotov Light, which is their double IPA from Evil Twin. You know, Molotov Cocktail was their triple IPA, so interesting to see a double IPA from them. This is Hansen's Strawberry Lambic. This is Doank Bitter XX, which is like sort of Belgian IPA. We have Speedway Stout, which is a beer that I haven't had recently, so I'm really excited to review this for you guys. Victory Storm King, go-to IPA from Stone. I reviewed this for you guys, but if you'd like to see it again, I always like trying to review beers again. You know, try to see compare what I think later on as my palate develops, maybe the situation. You sort of see how beer sort of evolves on your palate. And then also we have Ode Who's Boon. So bunch of beers, and so we're reviewing this beer. Maine Beer Company is one of my favorite hoppy beer breweries, and especially one that's actually distributing, whereas a lot of breweries are sort of, like brewery only, like Treehouse, Hill Farmstead, blah, blah, blah. This is distributed, so I believe mostly in the Northeast, but we get it a bunch in New York, and I think they're making some of the best beers that you can find on the shelf in New York, so, or wherever you are. This is probably one of the best hop beers you can find that is accessible. And anyway, dinner. Finally got a tray for dinner, so their first double IPA from Maine Beer Company. That'll be coming soon. So Hype City, be excited. Anyway, talking about this beer, this is a 5.5% pale ale and is mainly El Dorado hopped. El Dorado is a relatively new fresh new hop that's being used. And the anniversary beer that Stone recently had, their golden double IPA that I reviewed, that beer was okay, but it was mainly El Dorado hopped. And Mitch Steele describes El Dorado as sort of this kind of orange lemon starburst candy kind of flavor, which I did get in that beer, and I'm really excited to see if I get that in this beer. So let's dig in. First of all, I will say that this is kind of I poured the whole beer out, and I noticed there's some sediment on the bottom. So before I opened it, I did a little bit of a roll to sort of get all that sediment into the beer. It doesn't offer too much, maybe a little bit of mouthfeel, a little bit of flavor maybe, but it's mostly the color that I really wanted. And so it's generally something you do with German beers that have a lot of yeast on the bottom, but did it with this beer, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. It is a glowing dark orange. Let's get the aroma. A little simple on the nose. Generally from Maine Beer Company, I want something a little bit more explosive, but it is quite citrusy. I get maybe a little bit of that kind of lemon, orange, starburst kind of candy. A lot of orange zest, maybe a little bit of a clementine tangerine. A simple nose. This is quite a fresh beer. It's like 2.5 weeks fresh, but cheers. Okay. I would say it falls on the palate with that restrained kind of hop character. I definitely want a little bit more going on. In the front, you get orange. Yeah, it's like a little bit kind of like orange zest, a little bit of orange oil kind of thing. Sort of like when you peel orange, that kind of like spritziness that kind of gets in your nose. A little bit of this kind of again, that orange candy little thing on the back end. I will notice there's a little bit of I say like kind of a green grass floral note, like non-fruity kind of note going on. Yeah, in the front you get a little bit of that kind of floral green grass thing. In general, kind of citrus, zesty and bright kind of flavor throughout. But again, it's relatively restrained. A little bit of bitterness and drying on the back end. Mostly dry, I would say. Not too much bitterness on the back end. Again, restrained kind of hop character. On the palate, there's this wonderful kind of white bread / fluffy / light kind of malt character that I really like in some of the Vermontonian IPAs, and Maine Beer Company does the same. They're very light. There's not too much sweetness and malt that you're chewing at, but it offers a little bit of mouthfeel, like you sort of want to chew, because it has this kind of white bread, crackery kind of malt character. Really delicious stuff. I would say it's a little restrained for me. It's a beer that probably pairs very well with food. Great for summer. It's really refreshing, and that lack of hot character and bitterness sort of makes it more refreshing. But for beer, for Maine Beer Company, they're charging around $7 to $9 to $10 for their 500 milliliters, which is one of the more expensive hoppy beers you can buy. And for me, I want something a little bit more explosive, a little bit more something like Another One, Wheeze, Lunch, Zoe. Highly recommend all of those. Those are some of my favorites from them. Mo is another great one. This one is probably one of their weaker hoppy beers. Probably the weakest hoppy beer from them, but still quite good. On Beer Advocate, this beer gets an 89. I would say it's around there. Just because I like the hop character, not the hop character, but sort of the built, the structure of this beer. Yeah, the refreshing qualities, the light malt body, clean beer. It's almost like drinking like watered down juice, watered down orange juice, like sort of like if you put a bunch of water in some Sunny Delight or something, that kind of flavor. I'm thinking about that now, and I do like that character a little bit. It is nice and refreshing. So 91. This beer is getting 91 from me. We will be bringing you guys dinner, Maine Beer dinner. I'm really excited to try that. That's one of the highest rated double IPAs in the country. I'm really excited to try that finally. And let me know in the comments which one of these you'd like to see reviewed very soon. I'll probably review this and maybe this soon because those are hoppy. Obviously, want to review those soon. And until next time, guys, cheers later.